Hey, welcome to the second part of this video, how to make the Megabox from Brawl Stars game. Well, I hope you got some rest and breathe a little bit before the last video. I just took a coffee for me. Delicious, let's go. This is really great. That's where we have stopped last time. From the last video to this video, I realized that some things that maybe let's do some quick changes here. You remember that we did scale a little bit down these edges here and this on the top. The top I think is okay, but I am thinking that I maybe would like to take a step back on what we have done on these bottom ones. So I will scale them up instead of, I will scale them those up instead of down. Now we have the symmetry on the X, let's activate the symmetry on the Z. Yes, like this. Then on the face, polygon, let's scale, polygroup, oh yes, and then click and drag down. Let's scale it up. Okay, let's leave it like this, just a little bit. So, if we check our reference, let's go. There are some things that we need to add. There is this thing on the sides. There is some little details here from these screws, and there is this thing on the top also. And maybe let's do this thing on the top now. That would be a good idea. So here on the right side, you have a panel called Subtool. Okay, you're gonna click on it. So here is where we have our layers. We could call it layers, but Zbrush call it like Subtool. So let's hit insert, and we again gonna insert polymesh 3D. And then you see that it is right in the middle of our object. I don't need this box now because I need to model another stuff. So you can just click here, solo, and then we can see just our object. And like we did before, hit W. Let's hit this engine here. And at this time, we're going to select, let me think. Let's go for the cylinder 3D. Okay, so Shift F to activate the polyframe. And again, you can see that you still have this other type of gizmo where you can control the amount of subdivisions, the amount of lines, right? So I will, on the green one, I will remove everything. And here, looking from the front, you have this red one. You can just, let's put something like 8. Yeah, I think 8. You can put 8. H dive equal H, okay, equal 8, sorry. You have this white in the middle that we are not using this, but just for curiosity, if you click and drag, it will make a hole into the mesh, and this is really cool. Okay, we don't need this, we are just leaving on 0. So we will use this top, and then we need that the bottom is totally straight down. Okay, we could simply, like by hitting the asymmetry, we could select this bottom ones. Let's move it there. And then we could do like this and then put it like down. And then we could select everything here and put down. I mean, you understood what I was trying to explain. We are not going to do this. What we are going to do instead, we are going to hit Ctrl Shift Alt. Okay, and then you see that we have a different option here, and then I'm gonna click and drag, and then if you don't have Alt selected, it is green, right? But if you have Alt, it means that you are going to hide this or delete partially this mesh. So let's select this bottom one, maybe before this middle line. Nice. Now you can see that we don't have the bottom part, but looks like we don't have the bottom, but we do, because if you hold Ctrl Shift and click, it will come back. So the bottom part is just hidden. Okay, we need to fully delete this. So for doing that, we here on this side panel, back to geometry. Let me close dynamic subdiv and crease. You have an option called Modify Topology. You just click there, and then you hit del hidden, and what it's going to do, it's going to delete what we have hide. So if you hold Ctrl Shift and click, you're gonna see that it will happen absolutely nothing. It will not come back because it doesn't exist anymore. Also, while we move out, you can see that it's kind of weird, right? You can not actually see pretty well what's going on in our mesh. Just for fixing this, you can here on the side panel, you can go here on the bottom, display properties, and then you hit double, and then we can see it. Okay, nice. So what we're going to do now, okay, we still have the Z modeler brush here. So let's leave in a face, hold space, K mesh, polygroup all, click and hold, do a little bit like this, to add some thickness, not that much, just to so we can move with our next step. Let's select all, Ctrl and Alt, select the bottom part, and then let's move it to the bottom. And then you can see that if you let me do a zoom here, you can see that you have the bottom, this is more down than this, right? And this is not good. It would be good if we have everything like flatted, okay? So hit W to bring the gizmo back, and then here on the green scaling, which is the y-axis, you just click, hold, and move it down. Click, hold, move it down again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, till you make sure it is totally flat. Okay, great. Now, still with the bottom selected, you're going to hold Ctrl, and then you click in this arrow here, and when you click, hold, and drag, it will extrude the bottom part. Wow, isn't it crazy? ZBrush has a lot of cool things. Okay, let's move on. Q, let's hold Ctrl, do a draw outside of the mesh, and deselect what we have done. Let's see, what can we do? I think, okay, maybe now what we can do, let's bring the reference back. We want to do this here, excuse me. We want to do this little thing here where we have on both sides. Okay, we are trying to do this. So let's Ctrl Alt, let's select here the bottom, W, and then let's move it down. Like this, maybe more or less like this, Let's clean our selection. I will bring the gizmo back, and I will make it a little bit more thinner, just a little bit. I don't know exactly the size of it. We are going to put in front of our reference to make sure that we are doing it correctly. What we can do now is we can actually delete this other polygroups that we have, the red one and this purple one. I mean, technically this is not purple, but anyway. So holding Ctrl and Shift to select one polygroup, you're going to click on the green, and then you see that the rest are going to disappear. And then again, geometry, modify topology, and delete hidden, okay? Great, so what we need to do now, let's bring our reference back by hitting Shift B. Nice. So now what we need to do, let's bring the gizmo back, W. I will deactivate symmetry, hit X, and I will bring the gizmo to the middle of the mesh, holding Alt and clicking this icon. Now, holding this, you see that you have a lot of things here in the middle to move. You can also move by this white little arrows here. Let me scale it down. Let me move a little bit there. But you can see that this is not on the right direction. So let's see a little bit up like this. With the gizmo, let's lock on the top by holding Shift. Okay, and then you can lock the view like this. Oh, like this, yes. And then let's rotate, and then you just, if it's locked, you can use the white rounded ring. If it's not locked, then you should use the green one, you know, if you are in a different perspective. But let's lock here on the top, and then you just click and rotate this part. And then for us to have an exactly amount of rotating, you just hold Shift And while you drag your mouse to rotate this, you're going to see that it go in like a 5 by 5, minus 90, 85, 80, 85, 90, and then we just going to rotate in 90 degrees, minus 90 or 90, it doesn't matter. Okay, like this. I think now we are in the better orientation. So let's lock on the front. Okay, let's scale down. Let's position it. Like more or less here. I will scale in the y-axis, make it bigger. Maybe something like this. Okay, I think this is great. That's good. It's gonna work for us. And then let's remove the reference, and then moving a little bit, leaving the mouse or the pen on the edges, hold space. Then we're gonna bevel, edge loop complete, and then let's click and drag like this. Let me go back, Shift P, let's see our reference. There is a really light mark here. Maybe we can use this. Let's click and drag. Let's maybe here. Okay, nice. And then instead of we try to guess how much bevel we did here to replicate on the other side, you can just go to edge and click. Done. You don't need to click and drag. You just click and it's going to do the exactly same thing. Okay, this is good. And then nice. Now let's maybe position a little bit better. Maybe here. Okay, I think this is good. And okay, before we flip this to the other side, let's try to do this bottom thing right here. And for doing that, let me remove Shift P. What we're going to do here in Subtool, you have these options here, and then let's click on Duplicate. Okay, now we have one more mesh. They are exactly in the same place. The only thing we are going to do here, let's see, what can we do? Let's add one more edge. Insert single edge loop, and then let's put it here down, more or less like this. Okay, and then on the face, hold space, polygroup, but attention here. Instead of a single poly, we are going to change it to poly loop. Okay, click there. And then look at this. When you put your brush into the face, you're going to see that you have this yellow line here, and if you move a little bit here and here and here. This yellow line is guiding us like, hey, the poly loop is going to the direction of this yellow line. If you move here, the poly loop is going to direction of this yellow line. So if we go up, you're going to see that it's going to create a poly group on this poly loop. Okay, this is not what we want. I actually wanted to do it on this side. So you just put in a way that you see the yellow line like this. Click, and it will polygroup all the side faces that we have here. And then Ctrl Shift, select this polygroup that we created. Let's go to Geometry, Modify Topology, and Del Hidden. Great, perfect, that's what we need. Do you remember we have solo activated here? Let's click it, and then let's bring everything back. We can see that our mesh is really under where it should be. Activating the gizmo with W, I will place it on the symmetry is activated actually. Let's hit X, make sure that symmetry is not activated. Move the gizmo to the center, let's move it up. Let's see how much up. Let's see the reference. I think here. Yeah, I think here. Here is a good place. And then what we're going to do here. On the faces, hold space, key mesh, polygroup all, and let's do it like this, but how much? Let's see the reference again. Like I think like this is, I think like this. I think this is good. Yes, this is good. Hold Control. We'll change here to this mask pen. You don't need to go in this bottom option. You can just go on the top. And then let's select just this top part here and bring the gizmo. I will move it a little bit up. Okay, great. Now let's remove, sorry. Let's press Q. Let's erase our selection. Let me remove the background, the reference image. And then edges, let's bevel it, edge loop complete. Let's bevel it like this. Let's bevel till we have a really thin, maybe this is better, maybe till we have like just a little bit here on the bottom. Now I would like actually this to be a little bit more close to this other polygon. What we can do, we can go to the face and then maybe scale like we did before, polygroup all, and then polygon center. Maybe let's try. Let's see. Oh yes. Oi. I mean, no, this is not exactly what we want. Let's try to change it to local symmetry. Okay, I think it worked, but I think this poly group on the top is the same of the bottom. Yes, you can see, if I move up, the bottom is moving together. This is something we don't want. So let's go here, poly group, poly loop, leave the mouse here. Let's poly group this. Now they are different. Now let's go back to scale and okay, that's really great. This is better. Really good, really good, really good. Okay, let's move on. What else we have in our reference? We have this middle cylinder, and then we have this. Let's make the middle cylinder. Here on the side, on the subtool, let's insert and again polymesh 3D. Let's hit solo, so we just see just that. You can press F, and then it goes. It center your geometry. Gizmo. Let's select cylinder. Yes. Last time we had the cylinder, we did this with 8 divisions, and I think we can pretty much use the same. We don't need more than this. Let's get out of the solo mode. And now again F, and then let's zoom out. I will hit W, let's put it up, and then from the top view I will lock the top view. I will holding shift, flip this in 90 degrees. Okay, great. And then let me move up. I will scale it from the yellow one and here on scale on the Z axis. It's good that don't use this side one, okay? Our object is really well centered, so it's good if we do this. We are moving perfectly on both sides, so we make sure that you are not taking this object out of the center. If you did this, you just hit this house icon here. Just you don't need to hold Alt, Control, nothing. You just click here, and then it's going to exactly in the middle, and then move it up. Okay, it is, and then it will be perfectly aligned. Let's bring our reference back. Shift P. I will touch it here. Okay, and let's leave it like this. And okay, let's move a little bit down. Try to center there, and then you can see that we still need to make it bigger. We can make it bigger by like just increasing the size of everything, and there's bringing everything on the Z-axis. I will teach you a really cool feature, which is if you hold Alt and go to the Z-axis, you are going and try to scale it. Look what it does. It scale up, but ignore exactly the axis that you are holding, which is the Z-axis. This is a really cool feature. Like I want to scale everything, but on the Z-axis. So you hold Alt and click here, and then you can scale it, everything else but in the axis that you are holding. Okay, this is really cool. Nice. So let's let's move it a little bit more inside this thing, maybe in this line here, and I think we are pretty pretty much done with this. And hey guys, I just forgot one thing which is really important. Let's save our project before anything else. Why I have not done this before? I am so stupid. So the only thing you need to do is Ctrl S. Okay, it's going to pop up a place for you to save your project. I think I will save in this folder. Yeah, I think I will save it here. I will just name it Megabox. Okay, and then I just hit save. Saving project. Done. It's saved. If you check a little bit our reference, you see that this thing that we are doing now, there it goes to here, and after this point, it goes down. You know, it scaled down. So that's exactly what we are doing here. But instead of doing that, select and scaling down. If you try to do this here now, you're going to see that you're going to lose all the shape that we are doing. So for that, we need to add one line here. So what we are going to do, leaving the edge, insert, and before insert, make sure that you activate the symmetry, hit X, okay? And then here on the line, click, and let's put it here, maybe here. Now you can Ctrl Alt select here, W, center the gizmo, and then you can scale. Make sure that you are scale by the white, not this little rectangles, okay? The white one, so it is scaling equally to all the sides. Scale it down, and then you can see that it is doing something really weird here, right? It's because we have our local symmetry low. Go to the line and make sure that you select insert single edge loop and then activate the symmetry. Don't forget about the symmetry. For some reason this is not mirroring to the other side. I will now deactivate the symmetry. Okay, I will do this just on this side. Let's select it here. Take the gizmo, center it, and by the yellow box here in the middle, let's just scale it down. Maybe like this. And then we need this to be mirrored to the other side, but the symmetry is, for some reason, it was not working. So what we can do in this case, really simple. If you have done something, you didn't activate the symmetry, and you don't want to go back to your project, oh, I have to go back and do everything again. Don't worry. We can fix it really quickly. Here on the side panel, we have here deformation, okay? You go to deformation, and then one of the first options here, mirror, and then you can see there is an X here. We can mirror on the X symmetry, Y or Z. We want X, so you just hit mirror. Wow, it mirrored to the other side. So now you need to make sure that both sides are the same. So after mirror to the left side, you go to geometry, modify topology, and then you have an option here, mirror and weld. Again, in the X-axis, hit. Wow, isn't it crazy? Look what we have done. Now it's perfectly. Now you can activate the symmetry on both sides, and now you can do what you have to do. Let me just check if we have Z. No, we don't. That's really good. Okay, so let me remove the reference, and then you can see one thing here. This is a little bit weird, right? The way this is not connecting really well on this side here. What we can do, let's hold out, and then you click on this other mesh, and then you can select the other mesh. So you can do this with any mesh. Okay, let's select this one, and then let's do one thing. Like I will show you one new feature then. Click solo, so you can see only this. So you can see that this and this is the same polygroup, than this, and yeah. So instead of we trying to, I want them to be different polygroups, okay? But instead of we trying to do this manually, here on the side panel, you have polygroups. Look here, you have polygroups, yeah. And then you have some automated options that you can use here. And one of them is group by normals. So if you click here, you're going to see it going to try to group by normals. By normals means like these angles, angle parts, okay? It didn't identify pretty well the angle, so we have to tweak some options here. Group by normals here, max angle, here is 45. Let's try to change this to 30. And let's hit groups by normals. And now he grouped it too much, and let's try to go to 40. Group by normals again. Okay, yeah, better than before. This is just one, this is just one, this is splitted for some reason, this is just one, this is just one. I think I will now just go here and polygroup, polyloop, and done. Okay, solved. We solved our problem. And then one thing that we can do here, hit W, make sure that this is centralized in our geometry. And here by the scaling by the x-axis, let's scale it in a way that this other mesh fits inside this. I will actually move it up a little bit. Let's see, we have the same space we have here. Seems that we have the same space right here. Okay, so I think this is really, really good. Now that we split that in between polygroups, we can come here back to the geometry, crease, and crease PG. So we are creasing these polygroups, okay? Crease level, let's put this in 2, but we don't know how much yet. Let's just leave it like this, okay? Have in mind that we're gonna have to do this with this mesh here and this mesh here. I realized that one thing here. Because we scale this on the x-axis, do you remember that this bottom one is actually a copy of the top? So because we scale on the top, it would be smart to scale the bottom one. You see that this is a little bit off-centered, right? So let's make sure that the gizmo is on the center. Let's scale it on the... Okay, it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, guys, let's scale it like this, 1.2. And okay, nice. I think this is great. Really, really, really cool. So now, select this. We have to flip to the other side, right? So you remember how to do this? Deformation, mirror, geometry, modify topology, mirror, and weld. Really good. Now the bottom one. Let's click here. And then deformation, mirror, geometry, modify topology, mirror, and weld. Perfect. But let's take an overall. Let's press F. And let's press F one more time. This is looking really okay. If we bring our reference, we can see that this is really off. So I think this looks more cute in the reference, and our the one we have model is not that cute. And I think is this because this there is too much space in between these two things. So let's try to make them a little bit more closer to each other. One way that we can do this, let's select this middle one. I will Shift F. Let's bring the gizmo back. I will deactivate the symmetry. Let's centralize the gizmo, and here on the Z scale, I will bring this closer, like maybe like this. I think this is a little bit more cute. Now Q, let's select this one, activate the symmetry, and let's move it here to the center of, and let's move it like this. Let's change a little bit the perspective, maybe a little bit more, maybe like this. I think this looks good. Okay, now this one, make sure the symmetry is activated, and then by looking for different perspectives, let's try to put it a little bit more in the middle. Okay, that's really good, really good. So now the only thing we need to do is this little thing here. Okay, how can we do that? Let's say I will maybe use this this mesh that we have here. So what I'm going to do here in subtool, with this selected, let's hit duplicate, and then I will activate the solo mode. Let's see, just this, and then Ctrl Shift. Let's click and drag to select just this edge here, and then everything going to disappear. But if you move a little bit, you see, this is there. So geometry, modify topology, del hidden. We don't need that other thing. So right away, what we are going to do, just leave the mouse and the polygon, hit space, key mesh, polygroup all, and let's just do this. How much? It doesn't matter for now. Let's bring everything back by deactivating the solo mode. Let's leave it perfectly in the front view and center the gizmo, and let's move it there. Okay, let's move it there. So let's bring our reference back. If we try to, let's try to match here the size of this. Let's just scale it a little bit down and let's see. Like this. Maybe this is okay. Now what we are going to do, hit Q, Control Alt, select this, W, center the gizmo, scale up and the yellow scaling. Okay, don't go to these ones. We want a really uniform scaling. Okay, so still with this selected, you just hold Control and here on the arrow, click and drag to extrude. Let's go to the end and then scale it down more or less like this. Q, click and drag outside. W, bring the gizmo back, center the gizmo, click and drag, and let's leave it more or less like this. Let's remove our reference. And then let's do the symmetry to the other side. Now here, what you can do, hold Shift, click Deformation, and then you can have both panels open instead of every time you click to a new panel, all the other ones close. But if you hold Shift, it will remain open. So mirror, modify topology, mirror, and weld. So activate symmetry. Don't forget this. We have a. Let's see alone this solo mode. Do we have a polygroup here? This all is a polygroup, and then we have a different one here. Let's make one of them a different polygroup. So QMesh polygroup, polyloop, and then both sides. Nice. Let's get out of the solo mode. What we can do now, let's hold Alt, click here on the box. Let's hit D. Okay, because now we are going to have an overall look to everything we have. So here on this base one, let's hit D, and then you can see it's really rounded. We kind of lose the shapes of the bevels we did. So what we can do, we can here crease and hold Shift, dynamic subdiv, so we can have both open. Crease PG. Crease polygroup. Let's leave this, I would say true, maybe, okay. And then on the dynamic subdiv, let's leave it on 3, let's see, maybe 4. Maybe 4, I think this is okay, just so we can understand what we are doing. I actually would like these lines to be really strong. So what we can do, I will just leave the mouse here and the edge, I will go to crease, and now instead of edge we're going to put edge loop complete. Okay, so let's click here, this one, you see that it's doing in this loop, and here, and then I will do the same on the other side, here and here and here and here, and now again dynamic subdiv. And okay, let me see. Okay, let's here. I could see this curve. We have a really curvy thing here, but it's because this inner part is not a polygroup. We don't need to make a polygroup. You can just click here, and then it's going to crease all this edge. I will do in the bottom, it's creased already. So hit D, and okay, now it looks way better. Maybe, okay, let's click on this one now, and let's hit D. Okay. You see, we are having, let's do solo. You see what's going on in the bottom. Okay, this is this is not that important because we cannot see this because it's inside the mesh, but just for safeness, here on the edge, let's select insert single edge loop and then just click and drag to the bottom so we can have a straight line here. Let's get out of the solo mode. I will add more smooth, maybe 3, maybe 4. The crease level isn't sure. What about 3? Maybe I will put more smooth, maybe 5. Okay, so smooth is in 5, crease is 3. Maybe this one I will move to 4. We're putting 4, and let's move it to crease level to 3. Okay, maybe it's okay. Now this one here on the edge, crease PG. Let's put here. Let's put 4. No, let's put 3. Dynamics, I believe. Let's put 4. Okay, and now here in the middle. You see, solo mode. We need to polygroup these things. Let's just quickly polygroup, polyloop. Let's click here, polygroup this, and then here the triangles are a little bit tricky when you put here. You see how the yellow line changed. So this is the right way of this. So then click and what's going on here? Let's try to do this in a single polyloop. Click and hold click, and then you press Alt, so you will change the color of the polygroup. Then click, 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 click. And you can see that I was stupid and I didn't activate the symmetry. So we're gonna have to do this here and 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 here again. Then here we can maybe change for polyloop. Out, let's change different color, and okay. Let's smooth, but crease PG, let's put in 3. Smooth, let's put 4. Okay, good. Now let's take an overall look, and okay, this looks so cute. One thing that I will do, I will select this and I will move it up a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. Oh my goodness, look what we have here. Look what we have here. This looks so cute, so cute. I think if you arrive at till here, you are totally able to go till the end. This is really awesome. Okay, let's have a break now. Grab a coffee, go to the toilet, take some water, rest a little bit before we move to the part 3. Thank you so much if you arrive at here. You are awesome. So that's it. Now, break time.